Today is Holocaust Memorial Day around the world. It's commemorated in many countries, in Israel, here in America, and you've spoken today, this weekend, a couple of times. First, would you describe a little of your background and your interest in the history of the Holocaust?
Yes, I'm a Johns Hopkins trained physician who practiced medicine in Newport Beach, California for the past 25 years. And about 16 years ago, I embarked on a new project, and that was writing the first book about the history of the Holocaust in Persian language, in Farsi. And the reason for me getting involved into the Holocaust at all was really answering one question. And that question was, where was the world during the Holocaust? How much the world knew and when did they knew about the Holocaust and what did they do about it? And another more important question was, what was the senseless reason for the world indifference to the faith of the Jews?
The fate?
Fate of the Jews during the Holocaust. And I learned that the Jews of the Europe ground to dust under two millstones, which the upper stone was the Nazis' intent to kill the Jews. However, the lower one was the world indifference. And the biggest lesson that I learned from this truly journey of mine was, when we see injustice, we should speak. Silence is always in favor of the oppressor. We have to remember what we don't say, when we don't talk, it counts.
And to what degree do you see this as a modern day threat from Iran, the Islamist Ayatollah regime?
Yeah, I really do not know the Iranian power. I don't know the politics up there. I don't know if they are rhetorics or the real threat, but they have to be taken very seriously. And I'm quite sure the government of Israel, Mr. Netanyahu and his lieutenants, will be able to analyze that and will to do a better job than I do in speaking about it. But to me, any threat to not only Jews, to any other nation or any other group for annihilating them is a threat that has to be taken seriously.
How do you feel the White House and Obama administration is handling this potential threat of exterminating the Jewish state today?
Yeah, as I said, my expertise is really is about the Holocaust, and my knowledge about Middle East and how the White House is right now. But we had one thing that I can say, that the threat to the Jews during the Holocaust and before the Holocaust was never taken serious. And that was said by the White House, by President Roosevelt, by the State Department, by the War Department. So I call that thing really more than ignorance or indifference. It was a willful indifference. And part of it, initially I thought, is anti-Semitism, but partly it could be, but mainly was indifference to others' fate. It was just like, we don't care if somebody else, if he's not one of us, dies. It's about the otherness, that we don't care about the others. And we see that even, unfortunately, in our own daily lives.
Well, given the war fatigue which has gripped Americans since the Iraq 2003, 2004, there are conflicts around the world. Who has a responsibility to intervene in cases of genocide?
I think one thing I have to really emphasize on, I know national interest, I know financial interest. However, we have to remember, when we live in a democratic country, defending human rights is in everybody's interest. Every democratic government defending the rights of every innocent human being who's being the victim of injustice, we have to intervene. National interest or non-national, that is our national interest.
America's?
Everybody's, included America. Everybody.
So genocides in Africa, for instance?
Is everybody's interest. Everybody, every individual, so to speak, and every government, America and other civilized nation. If we want to live in a civilized society, we need to care for each other. That's my point.
As a physician yourself, you must be familiar with what the German doctors did, the experiments that they did that they conducted supposedly in the interest of advancing medicine. How familiar are you, and how do you suppose that they reconciled what they were doing?
I think I have a chapter in my book about not only doing those experimental things, how can you kill 10,000 person, innocent, 1,000 or even one, and you go home, play with your child, take your dog out, eat your food, complain that, honey, this food doesn't have enough salt, go to bed, make love to your wife, sleep comfortably, and get up in the morning and say, honey, I'm going to work. I have that. What is the mechanism that human spirit gets so low that you can kill someone else and not to feel guilty or even feel good? So that's a huge chapter of humanity or lack thereof that we can talk about in a more appropriate time.
When you see these Muslim beheadings of people in the street, of Christians and apostates, you talk about barbarity, even as a physician, as a cutter. How is this? You see a slaughter like they would be slaughtering chickens or goats that takes place among these fundamentalists.
I think this is exactly the same thing happened in Germany. In Germany, they were killing people in the name of nationalism. Aryan nation, pure, wonderful, noble Aryan people. In Middle East, they're killing people in the name of their faith and also in the name of God, and both is wrong. Thank you. Thank you.